Giorgio Cafiero, who's in Washington, he is the CEO of Gulf State Analytics. Giorgio, I feel personally like I'm almost in an abusive relationship with President Trump. He tells me one thing, then he swings to the other extreme the next day, then swings back. How do you make sense of the conflicting, alternating messages we've seen over the last few days?
Well, I certainly don't think anyone can blame you or anyone else for being a little bit confused throughout the past couple of days. I think to really try to understand what's going on, I think it's pretty clear that Trump does want a deal with Iran. He would like to see this conflict de-escalate and eventually end. This has to do with his own political interests and the economic impact that this conflict has had on the global economy and also on the U.S. economy, but he doesn't want to be seen as negotiating with Tehran from a point of weakness. He also does not want a deal to go through that ultimately looks very similar to the 2015 JCPOA that he spent years bashing as the worst deal ever. So I think Trump is trying to continue pressuring Iran. And I guess from his perspective, and according to his thinking, that is going to result in the Iranian leadership making more concessions to the U.S. I don't think that's a realistic game plan. I think that one who believes that can work fundamentally misunderstands how the Islamic Republic operates under pressure. But I do think that that is Trump's strategy, and that helps us explain all of these different kinds of remarks coming from the U.S. president over the past couple of days.
Trump said a deal was close. Today, the Iranian Foreign Minister, Abbas Araghchi, says, look, we've never been closer to a memorandum of understanding. So, I mean, the real problem today, the huge fly in the ointment, seemed to be the leak that came from an Iranian media agency. That seemed to really upset Donald Trump. Now, do you think that that's deliberate from Iran's side? Are they testing the waters there, or is this just purely bad luck?
I think it certainly could be the case that Iran is testing the waters. To your point about how Trump is claiming that a deal, at least an MOU, is very close, and that Iran's top diplomat, the foreign minister, also said that there has never been a point in the conflict in which an MOU has been closer. I think those are signs that diplomacy has gained some momentum the past couple of hours, past couple of days. But I think there are a number of sticking points that could certainly derail the diplomacy. I think one of the issues that's going to be really difficult for the two sides to compromise on has to do with Iran's frozen assets, sort of the sequencing and the timing of when those get released. Will some of them be unfrozen right at the start, and then Iran can access some of them? The U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance claimed that that's not going to be the case, and that Iran will only be able to access some of these assets after it's proven compliance over a period of time. So again, to repeat, I think this issue of the frozen Iranian assets are going to be that's definitely one of the main sticking points here, along with some other issues too, of course.
Well, I would suggest that a major one is the fact that even if they agree, Iran and the US, Lebanon, the Israeli strikes on Lebanon would have to stop. Now, as we've heard from our correspondent, for Benjamin Netanyahu, this is almost existential, certainly in terms of his career, because if he stops the fight in Lebanon against Hezbollah and he goes back home, he's going to look like he's failed. This could be the end of him as the leader. Do you think he would dare to derail a peace deal between Iran and the US?
Great question. No doubt he would like to, from the Israeli government's perspective, some sort of a compromise between Washington and Tehran that doesn't result in Iran completely capitulating to Washington and Tel Aviv's maximalist demands is a nightmarish outcome. That being said, Israel completely depends on Washington, and if the Trump administration uses American leverage over Israel to say to the Netanyahu government, look, this is not what you guys want, but you have no choice but to go along with it if you want to continue receiving billions of dollars every year from the United States. Now, I think the key question is, to what extent will the Trump administration apply and maintain that pressure on Israel? If the Trump administration chooses to apply and maintain that level of pressure on Israel, then Tel Aviv will have to go along with it. But if the Trump administration is not serious about putting real pressure on Israel, I have no doubt that Netanyahu's government will do everything it can to sabotage a deal. So this is a question about how the Trump administration is going to proceed when it comes to reining in Israel's aggression.
Giorgio, it's great to speak to you. Thank you. Giorgio Cafiero, CEO of Gulf State Analytics.